Good morning. Welcome to Spice FM and
Thank you.
our show business, Louise. Jaff, who I don't think you've had the pleasure of meeting, or he hasn't had the pleasure of meeting you.
No.
Yeah, I think that's the right.
Yeah, Jaff is an incredibly close friend, a an amazing world-class restaurateur, business owner, and is my co-host here. So we've been hosting this show for a bit too long, I think, but we enjoy it. So that was me introducing Jaff. Louise, let's kick off with you, if we may, please.
Yes.
Let's start with who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Okay, so I'm Louise and I'm the owner of HWI Solutions, which is a care and nursing agency in the Northeast. We supply healthcare, seniors, and nurses to care homes when they've got a shortfall, whether that's for sickness, holidays, if they're needing extra staff because they've got a specific resident that needs additional needs. I've worked in healthcare for over 25 years. I've done a lot of roles within that time. So I have been a healthcare, I have been a registered manager, I have been a director, and then I decided a few years ago to open HWI. And yeah, I do it because I want to deliver passionate and um, good care to people that deserve it.
No, thank you. Jeff, there's probably not very many Asian people that go into care homes, is there?
I think there is because you have the Malhotra's have got a lot of care homes. Is that not their business?
Yeah.
And along
I
with,
don't, sorry, I don't mean like as in
oh,
Asians
as in
owning
Asian people going into
care
care
homes.
homes.
I said, yeah, you don't have many Asian. Louise, in your experience, do you? I mean, because you look after a very large number, don't you? As
Yeah.
in,
No, I don't. I agree with you with you, Amar. I don't think that is a lot because I find that Asian tradition is to keep their families at home.
Yeah, the extended family situation, I think it's still prevalent. I think maybe they may in some other regions, the slowly they may be creeping towards that, but I think the numbers will be very slim at this stage.
I wonder if there's one of two things. Um, I think you're right. Traditionally, it is a cultural thing. So looking after your parents because they've looked after you, and rightly so. Um, but I just wonder if both from a parental perspective and a child perspective, whether if there was right a dedicated care home. I appreciate we're getting a bit distracted here, but it's great to have someone like you on the show, Louise, to be able to unpick some of these type of thoughts and conversations. But I
Yep.
wonder, Jeff, um, if a care home dedicated to Asians or ethnics or minority or and certainly then breaking it down to South Asian, where all of the entertainment, where all of the food, where all of the support. As you get older, of course, there's you love engaging with young people and they run you ragged and everything else, but you probably want to be in your peer group, aren't you, Louise? As in, what's good about being in a care home? Talk us through what a care home does and why people go in it and things like that.
I think because a lot of people will go into care homes if they haven't got the support in their own homes. Um,
Right.
so I've worked with care homes, but I also used to work and deliver care into people's own homes. Um, so a lot of people do it because they don't have a network of support, so that they go into a care home because they've got people around them. And getting old can be lonely. So, you can go and you can be sitting in the dining room and there'll be entertainment on for you. People will be playing bingo, which, people love to do. Um, they've also always got on hand somebody if they need medication, because if they're in a nursing home, there will be a nurse on shift. So if there's any needs around that side of it, they they will have that in a care home. As to, if you're at home and you're feeling under the weather, you've got to ring a GP, you've got to then wait for the GP to get back to you to then come out whether and assess you. Um, so for me, there's a lot of factors, and as you get old, it can become a lonely place, whereas a care home isn't that, because they make it, and some care homes make it as if it's your own home. So you've got your own room, you have it set up as you like it, but they make it as homely and as comfortable for you.
That's nice. And I suppose that's what you really want, don't you,
Yeah,
from a comfort perspective.
yeah.
Um,
But also from
so
a family point of view, as if you've got a mother who you don't live near, so if you live in London and your mother's in Newcastle and they need
yeah,
that additional support, knowing that they're looked after in a care home and they're in a good care home that are accommodating the needs of your mother, then that also gives the family peace of mind.
yeah. And I think peace of mind's key, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that's probably, going back to that um, Asian culture. It's that peace of mind that
Mhm.
there's somebody on hand. But as there is a general and broader reduction in the number of children, so families across all cultures, across all areas in the UK are having less kids every year, right? So that then means that there's less grandkids, there's less, sort of the level of support that everyone would live in a house.
Mhm.
Jeff, there's more and more, traditionally everyone, all members of the family would live in the same house, but they no longer do they?
I think I think the family unit, from what I can see, is still close. But I think the difference is, um, people do want their own space. So you might have a home which is the hub where other siblings come to, but but everyone do like their own space these days. So I think that's changed a bit, instead of everyone being cramped in one house, which was probably how it was a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, gosh, there was like, there was just like the cars. Everyone piled into the
Yeah,
cars, didn't they? And
yeah,
it wasn't an exclusively Asian trait, as in, I remember like everyone just, there was sort of 4 or 5 people in the back of a car. Oh, I'll just jump
yeah,
in. It wasn't illegal to
yeah,
have like more than whatever it was. So
yeah. I think
uh,
thing
society's
was there
changed.
wasn't a restriction, was there, on how many people could sit in the back of a car? So
But it was uncomfortable though, is what it was. I remember, and as the like the smallest kid, you'd always be in the footwell or whatever it was, or sat on top of somebody else, or in the boot. The boot was exciting because it was an estate. Obviously, it wasn't. It'd be funny if you were slugged. Anyway, Louise.
Yes.
So it's yeah, and I appreciate that we've been talking quite extensively, so I know the difference that and you haven't mentioned the name of the company, so it's HWI Solutions.
HWI Solutions, yes.
Yeah. So it's National Inclusion Week,
Yep.
and um, and just talk us through, Louise, your organization. You've got lots of different people from lots of different places. What
Yep.
value does that bring?
Um, for us, we're very diverse. So we do have a range of care workers, a range of nurses. We also have in our office team, we have very diverse management that have been in the industry for a long time as well. So we bring experience of, we understand each role in a care home because we've actually done them. And that for me is something that's really important because I know what it's like to be a manager under pressure because I've been there. Then my team, I've got Sarah, who has been a deputy manager in the care industry for a long, long time. She understands it. She also knows the safeguarding processes, and she's very thorough in that respect. And we understand the pressure that the care homes go through. We also have staff that we take through a thorough recruitment process because we expect our staff not to need their hand held when they go on their first shift, but actually that they hit the ground running, because if someone's using agency, they're using it because there's a need and not because there's a want. So what they don't need in a care home is a member of staff coming and sitting on their phone and not knowing what to do on that shift. They need someone to go in and really, really hit the ground running and just to 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 blend in and not to be, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And for us is our recruitment processes, and we always ensure that people have got the right requirements to work in the UK. So they've got to have had experience of working in the healthcare setting in the UK. We also have a very diverse group of workers as well from all different backgrounds. Yeah, so for us, we do have a very diverse and equal team, to be honest.
Brilliant. And it's nice. And I think that diversity is incredibly important because it brings different perspectives. Care homes generally, Louise, have a range of people from different
Yeah.
backgrounds and things like that. But actually, lots of people have sometimes entrenched views, and diversity, connecting, building relationships, breaking down barriers. I think it's
Yeah.
an ideal space in place, isn't it, to learn more, especially when you've got international nurses and people from different countries and different cultures and things like that. Anyway, you're supporting the AVC Inclusion by Default campaign and the
Yeah.
awards. Why, Louise?
Just because I think it's, inclusion's really, really important, and especially in our sector. Um, you've got to, it's just, for me, it's a good opportunity to showcase what we are very inclusive, and I think that's why I wanted to do that.
Thank you. And if someone wants to find out a little bit more about you, what you do,
Yeah.
have a conversation
Yeah.
around, care needs, I'd like to know which care home I should be thinking about, when I get older, because the kids aren't going to look after me. I wouldn't want to look after me, but so I'd be interested in that. But also, if I had care homes, Louise, because what are the biggest pains that sort of care home providers generally have? It's staffing, right?
Yeah, so staffing. So we try and we bridge that gap. So if someone phones in sick and your own staff kind of cover that shift, or if someone's on holiday and again the staffing levels are not there, we don't just supply healthcares either. We've got chefs. So HWI are trying to ensure that we can supply every entity for a care home. So that might be a handyman, it might be a domestic, it could be a chef, a kitchen assistant, a registered manager, a admin. So we can look at all of that for everybody. I mean, we mainly do supply on the temporary side of our healthcares, or seniors and our nurses. But my vision is that we supply every entity to a care home that is needed.
Excellent. And where do and how does someone reach you if they want to have a chat?
So we've got our website, which is www.hwisolutions.co.uk. On there, we've got all of our telephone numbers and how to contact us. And we are currently going to be changing our website, but it's still there at the moment if anybody wants to reach us.
Wonderful. Anything else that you'd like to say or share with millions of people all over the world?
Oh, goodness. No, I just think, we're just trying to make a difference in how care's delivered. And for me, I think good quality care should be delivered at every standard. And yeah, for me, that's my vision, that HWI delivers excellent quality care.
Brilliant. Well done. And I know that you do. And
You do.
I'm probably going to experience it at some point in my life. I think maybe, who knows if I get that far. But anyway, on that sombering thought, thank you ever so much for your support for ABC, for the Inclusion by Default campaign, Louise, and HWI Solutions. And look forward to hearing more about your transformative journey where you're making a difference, not just for care homes, but for people within the care homes as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Louise.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.